The demographics of our practice is that we have 3 offices, 16 clinicians, 9 MDs, 7 NPs. We have 70 employees. It's been present 60 years, which is my age now, and I've been it for half of it. We have 13,000 patients and a fair number of special needs kids, probably around 750. And the highest overall, we have the highest overall mean in MHQP patient experience score in pediatric practices of 7 or more providers in the Boston Children's Hospital Network called the PPOC, which is the Pediatric Physicians Organization at Children's. Next. So back around 2006, we received our first MHQP survey, and I was quite a skeptic. I was not particularly happy with the scores we received, and I showed this to the partners and was kind of assigned to, like, okay, you try to figure out how we can get this fixed. So first of all, I did a survey monkey and got about 1,100 responses back from parents, which basically gave the same result. So it was a bit of egg on my face. In fact, a little bit worse than what MHQP had given us. So I went through the stages of on death and dying, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross stages with this. The first was denial of the data. This isn't reliable, this isn't helpful, and across the board, that's how many of us in our network felt at the time. And then the second response was anger, very visceral. How dare you do this? Tell me that my practice isn't, one of the best. And then start to bargain with myself. That was mostly with myself on this one, was, okay, it's not so bad. Let's start looking at this and see what we can improve here, maybe better here. And then finally doing Deming's, the economist who started Plan, Do, Study, Act cycles. And when feeling a little more impulsive at times, to do Plan, Do, Act studies. And we've been doing that process over and over and over again since 2007. Next, please. So in comes MHQP. We start looking at data. We start reevaluating where we're at in specific areas. And we try to work on 1 or 2 things a year. We don't try to do everything at once because it's enormously overwhelming, and especially in a practice this size. And what it has led to us is we're in the top 1% in self-management, and very well known in the area for our work in self-management, particularly around things like asthma. Top 1% in pediatric preventative care, so our educational piece to families, and the top 2 to 5% in child development, which are all the categories in MHQP. And we raised our organizational access thanks to our executive director up by 4 points within a 2-year period as well. And these are all compared to the state scores in the state overall. Next. And then we are in what's called the Pediatric Physicians Organization of Children's. And at that point, we start to see data in comparison with our network providers. And the PPOC blinds the data, but shows our ranking in the data in comparison to other PPOC sites, of which there are approximately now about 550 pediatricians and about 160 NPs in the entire network. And also, the best performers are often asked to present in what we call learning communities now. I've been fortunate enough and honored to speak at about 4 or 5 of them as well. And then collaboration improvement initiatives help to improve all our remuneration and contractual agreements. In other words, when this transcends across the network, it improves the metrics for us that MHQP has defined, and that the insurers give incentive money to improve in these areas. So it behooves us to not keep it within our own practice, but to share it with everybody.